Hey guys, what's up? Channer again, and today I want to talk about greater rifting in patch 2.3. So I've been doing a lot of testing and I've put in probably like over 50 hours or so. I've been playing about 8 to 10 hours ish a day since the PTR came up, and I've been doing a lot of greater rift pushing. I didn't really bother with the season. I just wanted to kind of figure out these greater rifts, and I basically just want to talk about the techniques and the ways of clearing really high-end greater rifts on the barb. Right now I've cleared a 66. When you clear rank, say I clear a 66 in 1454, which allows me to do 67, so on the board it shows I'm at tier 67, but I cleared to tier 66. That's just the way it works. I don't know, it's weird. But if I were to clear like a 66 in 9 minutes and 40 seconds, that would make me skip to 68, and my leaderboard spot would say 68 9 minutes 48 seconds. I don't know, it's weird. Like, I don't really like the system. I hope this changes, but it doesn't really matter all that much. Anyways, for high-end greater rifting, I've been doing 67, sorry, for a few days now, and I've been getting really unlucky. I've gotten 7 clears so far. 7 clears where I got the progression bar to where it needed to be. All I needed was a conduit pylon, and the conduit pylon wasn't there. And that's really unlucky because you're getting like around 2 or 3 pylons per greater rift, and there's only 5 pylons. So your chances of getting a conduit are pretty much better than not getting a conduit. So to clear 7, to think about it, to clear 7 rifts and not get the pylon each time. And then I have a few other rifts where like I cleared it and I was just like a few seconds off of the conduit, got the boss to 25%, 50%, and then it wore off. So I've been just missing my 67, just a really bad string of luck. But that's what a lot of this is. That's what a lot of high-end greater rift pushing is. And I'm going to explain that. There are certain things you need in a rift for it to be clearable. Most greater rifts at the high end are completely unclearable. I mean, you're going to walk into them, walk out, leave the game, reset the rift, and do another one. The first thing that you're looking for is a good map. The second thing you're looking for are good mobs. The third thing you're looking for, good density. And the fourth thing is a conduit pylon. Now in patch 2.3, they made conduit pylon super powerful again. It just instantly nukes everything. It kills bosses at the tier I'm at, about 67, in about 15 seconds, which means the boss takes like 3 or 4 seconds to spawn. I could use the conduit pylon for about 10 seconds to finish off the rift and spawn the boss, and as long as I have like 15-16 seconds of conduit for the boss, I'll get him down. So first off, I wanted to go over, I'm gonna have a little bit of leaderboard lag here. I'm gonna go over the good maps. I'll start with the best map. The best map currently are Silver Spire. Silver Spires are the best map. These are the maps that you want. And the reason why some maps are bad is because some maps are complete hallways. You see, if I get a bunch of density here, I could pull those mobs to here, and then pull these mobs to here, and then pull these mobs, and then come back and grab those mobs, and then over here in the middle, after like 30-40 seconds of pulling, I'll have 3-4 screens worth of mobs. I'll have 200 plus mobs in the high density cases, all stacked up that I could all kill at once. And that's what the barb excels at. The barb excels at AoE. Our single target is still crap, and that's why we need the conduit again to kill the boss. So we're building to be able to survive big density situations, do high amounts of AoE damage during that, and get a conduit at the end to kill the boss, or wherever you got to get the conduit, run back to it, whatever you got to do. Ideally, conduit at the end is the best. So Silver Spire is really good. And then the next 2 maps that are really good, I'd say Probably Ariat Crater is the second best, but I'd say it almost ties with the map I'm going to show you later. And now this has some hallways. Like, some maps consist of nothing but these tiles, and you cannot pull mobs together on these tiles. It's just completely impossible. But when you get big tiles like this, you could pull some mobs from down here. You could pull some mobs from up here. If you get a big density spawn on a tile like this, you are going to kill so many mobs at once. And that's why maps like this are so much better than other maps that are just pure hallways. Nothing but tiles like this. Or maps like Keep Depths. Now, if you go check out Keep Depths just consists of nothing but doorway after doorway. This is actually a pretty good tile, but I mean, most of the map sucks. Let me go to Keep Depths level 2. Show you what you're mostly gonna see in Greater Rifts. So basically, oh well, actually no, this is not in Greater Rifts. Oh, not as often. I think you mostly get Keep Depths level 1. It's just, this is like one of the best tiles in the map. This is where you could actually pull mobs. But most of the map is just going to be full of these doorways. And these doorways are going to prevent you from pulling from screen to screen. These mobs will get stuck in here, and then like ranged mobs will stand in the doorway and block the mobs over here, and block the mobs over here, and block the mobs over here, so you can't pull them all together. And this variant of this map, this is actually like one of the best looking Keep Depths you could get. Most of them look like just doorway after doorway after doorway after doorway. Just tiny rooms. You'll have like 4 tiny rooms on one screen, and you won't be able to pull mobs through because they get stuck at these choke points or these funnel points. So that's why maps like this are really bad. Cave maps are like the worst. Absolute worst. You just can't, like, mobs can't clump up together. You need an open spot to get mobs stacked up. If you have a hallway and you're only killing a few mobs at a time, you're not going to get the progression you need. I mean, you need to be killing large packs of, you know, good XP monsters, and I'll get to which monsters are good for progression. But yeah, cave maps are really bad. Like the ice cave. That where is it? It's somewhere in the battlefields, or yeah, somewhere over here. I'm not gonna go to it, but cave maps are really bad. Anything that's a hallway is just not good. Alright, so the next best map would be the Act 2 sand maps. So now these maps have some nice open areas. For some reason that portal doesn't load. Now these maps have some nice open areas, but they also have some choke points. Like here's a small choke, like it's more open than like Keep Depths. Keep Depths was like half this size. So sometimes like these hallway variants of this map kind of suck, but most of the time you'll get nice tiles. Like this is a decent tile-ish. And you'll be able to pull mobs. This is actually one of the bad variants of this map, but it's still okay. You could still pull mobs. You still got some nice open areas like this platform. This platform is the platform you're really looking for, because you could pull mobs from here. You come down here, grab some mobs over here. You can't pull too many through here, so don't try too hard. And then you come back down here, you grab all the mobs from here, grab all the mobs from here, grab all the mobs from here. Come back and bring them to this middle point and just start going back and forth like this. These edges kind of suck because you see, like, this is why hallway maps are also bad for Barb. As soon as your tornadoes hit a wall, they disappear. So if at all possible, try not to stay like directly in the middle. Try to pull them either down as you clear a little bit. Try to get them like over here, and try to angle your tornadoes so that they're not going to get hit by the corners like I'm doing right here. So tiles like this and maps like this are really good. Okay, so those are the 3 best maps. Now there are 2 semi-decent maps. They're not bad, they're doable. They have some nice tiles, but they also have some, like, a lot of choke points and stuff, so they're like kind of in the middle. If you get them, like, you might as well go through the rift, because if you get good mobs, get good density, you can get a clear off these. So the first one is Cathedral. Cathedral's really good. It has these nice, like, T tiles, like they're a T shape, like right here. This is the T-shaped tile I'm talking about. You grab mobs from over here. Of course, you're grabbing mobs with your threatening shout as you're keeping up Whirlwind. You grab mobs from over here, and then you come up over here. You grab mobs from over here, and you pull everything into this room, and just go back and forth, and you could get like 100+ mobs there. And if you have the right mobs in this map, you're good. Now, the last map is Caverns. So these tiles are decent, but as you can see, like, it's a big clump of hallways almost. And this is actually not a tile you'll get in a Greater Rift. You're gonna get like maybe 3 circles, and like when you're trying to pull things, you're pulling from down here, you're pulling from down here. You get all the mobs, they get stuck over here, they get stuck over here, because these are like funnel points. These little circles on the map that mobs can't pass through, they create types of funnel points, which kind of sucks. But some mobs go over it, like if you get dark moths, which are kind of good. This map's okay. This is like a doable map, but my least favorite of the doable maps. So I basically showed you the maps I like in order. And those are pretty much all the good maps. All the other maps are completely terrible. Like if you're looking for a really high-end push, you're not gonna get it. Next thing up, of course, are the mobs. Now, these are most of the good, like in a Greater Rift, you're gonna get a different combination of mobs. So you might get a few good mobs, you might get a few bad mobs all together. You got to kind of play it by ear. You got to be able to play enough to be able to look at mobs and kind of know how much progression they're worth, how long they're going to take you to kill before you kill them. So you know, you could judge a pack of mobs and you could think, is this, if I kill this pack, am I going to gain progress? Am I going to stay even, or am I going to lose progress? Is, you know, as the time goes up and I finish off these packs, am I going to jump up and catch up to the time? Am I going to jump up and pass the time? Or am I going to stay behind it? That's something you need, just kind of, you gain through experience. That's why I'm playing the PTR so much and figuring this all out. You gain that through experience, but I'm showing you right here what mobs are really good. They go down pretty fast. You could group them up. For the most part, they run fast. Some of them don't, but they spawn in high density. They're worth good experience, and they're not like super annoying to kill, to the point where, you know, they're decent progression, but they take so long to kill. Things like Hell Tremors, they take so long to kill. They got that shielding ability, but they're worth decent progress, and if you can get them in a nice clump, they're worth killing sometimes. I wouldn't call them good mobs, but I wouldn't call them bad mobs. Now, bad mobs are things like the little scorpions, tiny spiders, blazing ghouls, really low HP mobs that spawn in high density. Just fill up your rift with useless mobs. I mean, you could kill like 100 of them and you won't even get 1% of progress. It gets really bad. So, grotesques are definitely my favorite mob. These things go down so easy. They spawn little mobs after you kill them for extra progression and extra battle rage bloodshed. They're worth great progression, and they're just awesome. They don't really do enough damage to be a threat. Some mobs are decent, like Painmongers, but if you get a lot of them clumped up and they all use their swing attack and spike you as you're trying to whirlwind and burst down a pack of like 100+ mobs, you could easily find yourself flopping over and dying as a whirlwind barb and losing your 80 something 90 something stacks of Taeguk is really bad, and it's hard to catch back up after you die. You really need to try to go through a rift smoothly. But yeah, so Grotesque's really good. Unburied, super amazing. Grotesque and Unburied, 2 best mobs right there. Golgors are decent. They're good. Not as good as Grotesque and Unburied, but they're right there. The reason is they're really high HP, but they're worth a really good amount of progress. So if you could get like 5 of them, 6 of them inside a pack of like 100 mobs with Grotesques and Unburieds, like, you're golden. After you kill the Grotesques and Unburied, you can kind of just taunt the Golgors. They'll be at like 30% and pull them to the next pack, and then you finish them up in the next pack and get tons of progression. So using strategies like that are really good. These are Sand Golems, kind of like the Stone Singer boss. I find these to be pretty good. They're not the best, but they're pretty good. We also got Toxic Lurkers, which are like the biggest spiders. Any spider besides Toxic Lurker is horrible, but the Toxic Lurkers are good. The only bad thing about them is they're kind of large, and they're really bad to pull through funnel points or choke points. Yeah, this picture of zombies. Blue zombies, and red zombies. Dust Eaters, the blue zombies, amazing. They always spawn in such good high density, as well as skeletons. The melee skeletons, the mage skeletons spawn in really high density. The red skeletons could be okay-ish. The glowing blue Act 5 skeletons are bad. Those things just don't give progress. They stay too spread out. They don't spawn in good density. But I find the Act 1 regular skeletons spawn in this huge density sometimes. And if you get them combined with like Grotesques, Unburied, so good. You'll just fly through it. I mean, it's the difference between like a normal regular rift that I could pop and run. I'll probably get to like 70% and I'll be at 15 minutes and the rift will be over. If I get that Grotesque, Zombie, Unburied, Skeleton rift with big density on Spire, I will clear with like, I'll be at 99%, 100% with like 4 minutes, 5 minutes remaining. That's the difference between getting one of these super good rifts that you gotta fish for. We also got Dark Moths. Dark Moths are pretty good. I find they're worth decent XP. They go down really fast, and they could fly over mobs, so they're really easy to stack up on top of other mobs. And of course, this is the Dream Rift. Teddy bears and ponies in a Silver Spire is the absolute Dream Rift. That's how you're gonna get like a 70+ clear. But they're super rare spawn. Silver Spire is kind of tough to grab. But teddy bears are super small. They run really fast. They're easy to stack up, and they're worth a ton of progress. So teddy bears are like the best mobs you could get. But it's super rare, so go figure, right? There are a few mobs that are decent. There are a few mobs that are horrible. Like Death Maidens, I find them to be really bad. As you play, you kind of figure out these mobs. So the way I fish for these right map tiles and right mob compositions is I just have a bunch of keys saved up, and I literally go into a rift. I go into a greater rift. I don't really want to waste the key right now, but I pop a greater rift. I go in. I look at the map. If it's not one of those 5 maps that I mentioned, I pretty much just instantly leave. If it's one of those 5 maps that I mentioned, I look in the map. If it has like at least 2 good mob spawns and it has decent tiles or whatever, then I'll start clearing it. And I usually got to go in and out and just, I pop a rift, bad map, no good, leave. I'll pop like 5 rifts or so before I get a good one. So I pop about 6 keys, and then I get a good map. I go through the rift, and I see if I could complete it. Sometimes it takes like 10 keys. Sometimes it takes like 3 keys. You never know. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I got 7 clears without a conduit pylon, which is just unbelievably unlucky, because odds are you're going to get it within 2 clears. 2 clears is what it should take. So I basically cleared this difficulty like 3.5 times over. That's how unlucky, but it happens. It's like the tier before this took me like 15 minutes to get through, and the tier before that took me like 6 clears before I got the conduit pylon in my clear run. So that's just how Greater Rifting works in 2.3. I hope this video was somewhat helpful. I know it's a little bit long, but there was a lot of information that I needed to kind of explain, so you can get an idea of how I'm doing this. I just kind of wanted to explain that. So anyways, yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm gonna hop on my stream. If you want, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, much appreciated. I'll be streaming at twitch.tv/chainerfails. If you want to come hang out, it'll be awesome, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.